My name is Frankie Kelly. I play men's lacrosse, and this is my story. Growing up in Baltimore, I was blessed to have a wonderful family, a loving family, a godly family. We attended a great church where I got to grow up and learn a lot about faith, and that was instilled in me at a young age. I always had a good group of friends and a great group of people influencing my life. And I guess normally in a testimony, this is the time where I tell you about my rebellion or how I abandoned my faith or maybe got involved in the wrong crowd, but for me it was actually the exact opposite. I not only wanted to be a good kid, I wanted to be the good kid. It became my identity, it became what I sought after with everything I had. Just kind of a quick story to demonstrate that. When I was real young, probably elementary school or younger even, I guess me and my brother had a little tussle or something, or some sort of argument, and nothing major, but my mom jokingly said, Frankie, you're such a bully. You're such a bully. And little young Frankie just broke down crying because deep down inside, from the very beginning, that's not what I wanted to be known as. It's not what I wanted to be labeled as. And even something as passing as that, I didn't want to be the bully. I wanted to be the good kid. And that was a theme for me all growing up. Whether it was in school or on the athletic field with teachers or coaches or any sort of authority, my goal was to be the good kid, so people would look at me and say, wow, what a good guy, what a good student, what a good athlete, what an overall good kid. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it was a great thing, and it made for a great upbringing and childhood. But that carried over into my faith, and that created some really dangerous attitudes in my heart towards God and just for my faith in general. I was doing these good things in my life so that people would look at me and say, what a good kid. So it was coming out of selfishness, really. I wasn't appreciating God for who He was. I was appreciating what He could get me, or how my faith could raise me in other people's eyes, could elevate myself. And it wasn't extremely blatant because, like I said, I was surrounded by such great people who influenced me well, but unfortunately that became the attitude in my heart. I was doing the right without ever loving the right. I was obeying because I thought it could get me something or make me look better, not because I honestly loved the obeying or loved the things that I was doing. And coming into UNC, I think that really not became an issue, but I think was really brought out that before I was surrounded by all these great people, and so I was doing the right thing all the time. And at UNC and in college in general, stuff gets thrown at you that you never really experienced before. And I wasn't sheltered per se, but I definitely hadn't experienced a lot of the stuff that I would coming to UNC. And so I found myself resisting those things because that's what I made up in my mind to do, was to resist, is to do the good things so that people would look at me and say, what a solid kid, he's got it all together. But in my heart, I was still desiring those things. I was still desiring what everyone else was doing. And that created, like I said before, something dangerous in my heart, a dangerous attitude towards God. Because, like I said, I didn't really love God. I loved what my faith could get me. I loved my faith could get me heaven. It could uplift me in other people's eyes. But I didn't actually love the faith itself, or really love God for who He is and what He did for me. Through some great connections I've made here at UNC with AIA and the Summit Church and different influences that people have had on my life, I've really come to discover that that I can obey God because I desire to obey God. I desire those types of things. It's not something that I'm doing against my will that leaves me resentful towards God. It's something that I do because I love God, not so that other people can say, wow, what a good kid. And I guess just in conclusion, I want people to look at me now and say, look at me when I'm in the classroom or interacting with people, or especially on the athletic field playing lacrosse. Not to look at me and say, what a good kid, what a good athlete, what a good student, but what a great God, what a great God he serves. And so that's a process that's going on in my life and continuing to grow. But it really is something that I'm excited about and happy to share, and it's been a really great journey. I'm Frankie Kelly, I'm a Tar Heel, and I'm second.